Azula vs Toph. Who wins between these two powerful benders if they were to face off in a full-scale battle? Well, that's the battle I have for y'all today. Like, share, and subscribe as well as comment down below on any thoughts you have about this video. Now, before getting right into the video, let me just state that I'm only going to be using these two characters from the 3 seasons of Avatar The Last Airbender on Nickelodeon. I'm not using Legend of Korra or anything else, just the 3 seasons. Now let's get into it by starting with their physical strength. Well, I'll be completely honest, I do kind of want to lean towards Azula being physically superior, but given that Toph is an earthbender and earthbenders naturally seem to have this greater levels of physical strength in comparison to other benders, I kind of think it's best to lean towards Toph being physically superior to Azula. And to be honest, we do see quite a few impressive physical strength feats from Toph. But that's kind of the only physical aspect that Toph is better at than Azula. Because in terms of speed, agility, durability, and combat skills, well, in all those aspects, I'll easily lean towards Azula being superior. Azula was able to evade Toph and Aang's attacks during the whole Black Sun thing, and that was her without any firebending, and she was able to evade Aang and Toph's attacks. And do not forget that Aang is someone that Toph previously could not keep up with because of how fast he actually is, and his agility and his airbending aspects. And Aang is naturally insanely fast enough to run on water and be classified to be as fast as the wind. Like, he's insanely fast, and yet he said Azula was too quick for him to actually tag. And Azula's speed and agility are a main asset to her majority of the times throughout the entire series, and I don't think Toph can in any way compare to her levels of speed and agility. And in terms of durability, I think she's also just tanked more attacks than Toph, many explosives attacks and just general attacks from a variety of different other characters in comparison to Toph, who hasn't tanked as many. Then when it comes to their combat skills, well, Azula is a firebender. Firebenders are naturally trained in hand-to-hand combat to assist with their firebending. Toph was in no way trained in hand-to-hand combat, which obviously means Azula naturally has the advantage in that aspect. And I mean, she's also a prodigy, so that should also help out. So in every other physical aspect besides for physical strength, I'll say Azula is superior to Toph. But then we have to start talking about their power, their bending power. And obviously both of them are powerful benders with quite a large arsenal. Azula has a variety of different ways of attacking with her firebending. Her firebending is one of the most powerful, with the signature blue flames to emphasize how powerful it actually is. Powerful enough to break through Aang's barriers, and even at a point shown being powerful enough to actually break through Toph's earthbending as well, which is quite an impressive feat to consider. She also just naturally has a lot of different ways of attacking, and her most important or primary way of attacking, which is the most lethal, is of course her lightning bending, which though it does take a bit of time to generate, it still is a powerful attack, a one-shot win attack that if it lands against Toph, it's more or less GG's. But I think one of, if not the most important aspect of this battle is Azula's fire jets, which allow her to keep off the ground, which is a big problem for Toph, given that she kind of needs her opponents to be on the ground for her to properly see where they are. So this is going to be a big problem for Toph. But I will say that Toph has an insanely large arsenal herself. I mean, naturally as an earthbender, she has a lot of different ways of attacking, a lot more ways of attacking than Azula as a firebender, which naturally gives her the advantage. But on top of all of that, she also has a few different bending styles. Like, of course, she has sand bending, which is quite useful, and she has metal bending. But of course, these elements need to be in the actual area for her to bend them. Nevertheless, it does increase her arsenal, and she does just naturally have a lot of different ways of attacking Azula than Azula has of attacking her. She also has a seismic sense, which allows her to see anyone from anywhere, kind of preventing her from ever being snuck up upon. She's able to defend in a variety of different ways, even defend and attack at the same time, which is quite an important aspect. And her raw earthbending power is also quite insane, with her being able to move around large boulders and also being able to hold up the entire library, which was sinking, and she was surrounded by sand at the time, which was not a good thing for her, and yet she was still able to hold up that entire library for a bit of time. So her raw earthbending power is insane, and she has a much larger arsenal than Azula. Now, who do I think wins between these two characters if they were to face off in a full-scale battle? Well, I'll be completely honest. I think this battle is an insanely close one, and for the most part, it could go either way. A literal 50-50 split of 5 in 10 chance of either one winning. But if I had to actually pick a winner, I would slightly lean towards Azula winning the battle. See, the reason why I believe that is primarily because of Azula's superior speed and agility. That speed and agility is what prevented her from actually being tagged by Toph the many times Toph attempted to attack her during the Black Sun, which is even more impressive when you consider the fact that Azula had no firebending, which means she wasn't even able to use her fire jets, which do give her that advantage of getting off the ground and attacking Toph from the air, and Toph not being able to actually see prevent her from actually being able to stop Azula's aerial attacks. Now, obviously, Toph can block those attacks, put up a dust cloud, just launch a bunch of different rocks into the sky and hope that one of them hits. But given Azula's superior agility and her powerful firebending, which has been shown to actually being capable of breaking through Toph's earthbending,
I think she might be able to dodge majority of Toph's attacks and even get around Toph's defenses majority of the time. Now again, obviously Toph has a large arsenal and many different ways of attacking Azula, ways that would make the battle quite complicating for Azula to take advantage of. And obviously if Azula is on the ground, to some extent she is at Toph's mercy, as Toph can manipulate the ground literally underneath Azula to give her the advantage. But given the different feats we've actually seen from Azula and her speed, I cannot firmly lean toward her being caught by one of Toph's attacks based on what we've seen from her previously. I think she'd be able to dodge majority of Toph's attacks, and one of the times be able to land a decent blow. And if she uses her lightning bending on Toph, it destroys any barrier Toph has up, pushing Toph back, and Azula can capitalize on the opportunity. The battle is a very, very complicating one because both these characters have a crazy arsenal which make them quite complicating to properly scale, but because of Azula's superior speed and agility and her feats of being able to avoid many of Toph's attacks without firebending, I really slightly want to lean towards Azula winning the battle. Now, I'm sure many people are going to have a lot of comments and thoughts about this. It's completely understandable. If you'll do, please leave them down below. This is MC Info with another MC Clash. I'm out.